Hi friends, it's Allison here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you just a design process. I've been having trouble getting into my Cricut design space today, all day. I'd hoped to be able to share with you a scrapbook process as well, but because I can't access it, I can't create. And the withdrawals is killing me. My next chore after I do this is phoning Cricut to find out what the heck is going on. So the picture that I'm scrapbooking today is about a day that my kids and I got to spend with my husband while he was working. We got to ride along, and the nice thing about riding along with him is his truck has a bunk in it. The other one that he drove pre-COVID didn't have a bunk, so if anybody got to ride along with him, it would only be one of us at a time. So on this day, we got to hang out with him and all ride together. I don't know where we were going anymore or even what he was doing. That part of the story doesn't really matter. The story that I'm focusing on is just spending time together as a family. So I titled this layout Adventures, and then the subtitle is Off We Go. And then you see the little red circle that says road trip on it. And I thought that worked really well to tie the whole story together as well. I also found the phrase, "Are we there yet?" and decided to cut it from my cardstock base. And then I'm going to back that with some sort of pattern paper, and then I'll layer that over top of another base. So the background base that you see right now is going to eventually be measured to an 11.5 by 11.5, and then it'll be matted to, I think, the burgundy color square closer to the end of this video. So how I created that background is I sized the file to what I wanted it to be. I like to have a little bit of a border around the page so that everything stays contained. If you let it wrap around the page or fall off the page, it doesn't cut as nicely. And then you have little bits that you need to tie together in the end. So I try and contain all my images inside the paper that it's going to be cut from. And then I select the group function, and then finally the attach function, and then that will keep it all together, and the words "Are we there yet?" will be cut from the paper. I layered adventure over top of that, and then my photo gets kind of layered over top of that along with the subtitle and the road trip button. It took me a long time to figure out the placement for everything in this particular layout. I think I'm kind of in a slump right now. And that typically happens when I spend enough time away from my computer. My husband was home, so I don't get any crafting then. And now my kids are home because they have a long weekend due to teachers' convention. So there hasn't been a lot of videos, and that's because there hasn't been a lot of crafting. So I'm kind of, in a way, a little bit rusty. But the bottom line is I really was kind of struggling with the design for this layout. Eventually I get it. I moved the journaling around quite a bit, the long strips that you see above the photo. But eventually I get there. I decided to replicate the flower in the title from Adventures. All I did to do that was select the image from the right hand toolbar, and then once it's highlighted you can select duplicate, and then that will create a totally new image if you can separate these images. If it's one whole image and you can't break them apart, that doesn't work, but in this case it does. So I just replicated the flower, enlarged it, and then actually went back into my image library and looked for leaves. And I liked the first leaf that I tried out the best. Well, I don't know if it was the best. I liked it, so I just left it. I didn't bother with testing out any of the other leaves. And then I decided to add more of the flowers around the layout as well. So I'm going to end up covering the small flower that I originally duplicated to create the rest of the flowers. I'll cover that with the bigger flower. I'm gonna layer a flower underneath the subtitle, Off We Go. And then I add 2 other flowers so that they kind of cascade down the page on the right hand side. And then that enables me, it gives me the perfect spot to add my journaling, which will be basically to the left hand side of the photo, just right in the center of the page. And with that, this layout will be complete. But like I said, in the meantime, there was a lot of fussing and finicking and trying to get things just the right way. Another tip too, when you duplicate these images and then you add other icons or images to them, such as the flower and the leaves, I like to take them off the layout, just pull them off to the side, and then actually group them together using the group function in the top right hand of the screen. That way they all stay together and you can move them as one unit. You don't have to move each individual piece if you're not happy with where it's sitting. So I'm still kind of playing around with my journaling, still trying to figure that out, the placement. In this layout, when I actually get around to creating it, I'm not going to be able to write the journaling directly on the layout. Instead, I'm going to have to either type it or do like I've been doing recently and just write my journaling out and then cut it into strips and then add it to the layout that way. With all the bumps and the grooves that will be caused by the cutting in the background, it's just not conducive to writing directly on your layout. Oh, here I'm also playing around with some tags. I wanted to add a tag or a tab or something to the bottom floral cluster underneath the journaling, which will hold the date. To bring just a touch more gray or silver into this layout, I do create little tiny circles which represent enamel dots. That will be added to the layout later on as well, like when I actually create it, just to pull a little bit more of that gray into the layout. With that, this design process is done. I hope this video inspired you in one way or another, and hopefully the layout inspires you too in some way, shape, or form. I hope you come visit my channel again if you are new to my channel. If you'd like to see more, make sure you hit the subscribe button and then the little bell. That way you are notified every time I post a new video. And if you're a regular here, thank you so much for dropping by. And I will see everyone again very soon with more design and scrapbook layout process inspiration. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you again here very soon. Bye, guys.